Watching from afar, my impression has been that the Harris campaign has lost a lot of wind over the last few weeks and that Trump would seem to be in a better position to win this election. Is that how people feel on the ground in America? Is there a sense of who actually might win, given how close all of the polling has been?
Well, one of the things that I've found fascinating is the early voting here in Wisconsin. We have about 3.3 million voters, and already over 1 million Wisconsinites have voted. We don't really know whether these are people who would have ordinarily voted, who just decided to vote early, or if these are new voters. Really key is going to be looking at those first-time voters, in particular women, to see how they vote. But there's definitely a lot of enthusiasm and a lot of excitement to get out and vote this time around. Now, traditionally, Democrats would have thought that if there's an increase in voter turnout and excitement, that favors the Democrats. I'm not certain that's true, partly because 4 years ago, Donald Trump discouraged early voting and told people to vote on election day. This time around, the Republicans have made a get out the vote campaign to get people to vote early. And I get 4 or 5 text messages or phone calls a day from each of the parties, trying to remind me to vote early and get out. And so there's a lot of investment in the campaign right now.
Well, you mentioned the early voting, and there's reports that as many as 70 million people have voted early, which is about 44% of what the voter turnout was in 2020. And obviously, as a campaign changes, and this is what we've been talking about with the Harris campaign, that it is of recent times that it seems to have lost the wagon. To have early voting as big as that, it can actually turn an election before you've had a full view of what things are.
Well, in Wisconsin, they do not release data in terms of how people have voted early, and that's going to be the case for Wisconsin. So we will still not know until the end of the day on Tuesday how this has gone in Wisconsin. There's another factor here with the early voting, and that is with COVID, people really adopted new behaviors, and we don't know how that plays yet. And so when the pollsters tell you what it means, it is really hard to know, because people got accustomed to doing things online and doing things early out of medical necessity. And so trying to draw conclusions from that, I think, is somewhat tenuous.
Stephen, I know it's nearly 2 in the morning where you are in Wisconsin. I really appreciate you joining me tonight.
Thank you. The big thing today is Green Bay Packers are playing Michigan's Detroit Lions. And so for 2 or 3 hours later today, all Wisconsinites will be united in that one game.
I'm glad there's one way. Thank you, mate. Appreciate it.